Welcome all for the video tutorial on machine learning, and today we'll discuss about the fourth session of our third module, which is perceptron. We'll first discuss what is the concept behind perceptron and then we'll go with the slides. Okay, the perceptron is nothing but one of the classification algorithm, and we will be using perceptron for a linear set of data. It is applicable only for the linear data, and when we need to implement perceptron for a non-linear data sets, we will be going with multi-layer perceptron. Normally, how does a perceptron works? We all know that neural network working principle. First, it starts learning with one neuron, and that output will be given to the next neuron, and then parallelly all the neurons will be learning with the previous neurons output. The same concept is applied even in the perceptron. First set of data will be learned by one perceptron, and that output will be given to the next set of perceptron, and when it predicts the prediction in the right way, it goes with the same weight or it will be altering its weight. For example, we have four set of records. First, the prediction starts with the first set of record. You have an initial weight for all those records, and it will be starting convoluting with the first set of record, and when it is getting the expected output, it goes carry on with the same weight. If not, it alters the weight to obtain the record output. This is how a perceptron works. It starts with one set of record first, and it continues with the next set of records. So if the first set of records output is as that of the expected output, it goes with the same weight. The next perceptron will carry the same weight of the previous record, and it continues the learning nature of the system. If not, if a prediction in particular set of record is not as expected, then it alters the weight using a formula. You have a specific formula there to convolute, and we alter the weights of those system, and it continues with convolution. This will be carried out for the entire set of records. Initially, your weight will be 0, and when it starts convoluting, it will be working with the assigned weight, and it expects and it will be waiting for the expected output, and when it reaches the expected output, it continues with convoluting, and when it completes one round of convolution, you say that it has one epoch. The term epoch refers to the computation of entire record set in a training model. And now we'll continue with the slides. The perceptron is a single layer neural network. As we have discussed, perceptron can be implemented only for the single linear data. When we need a non-linear data, we will be going with multi-layer perception. And here we have a threshold value to determine the output. For every set of input, we have a threshold value, and that threshold value will be ranging. We fix the threshold value, and we categorize that threshold value either to -1 or 1. Okay, whenever you meet the threshold value, your output is set to 1. Otherwise, it is set to -1. Okay, what is this 1 and -1? It is nothing but the binary representation of an data. Whatever data you give, you classify that, and we synchronize that to the threshold value, and when the threshold value is met, it is set to 1 or it is set to -1. When it is set to 1, your prediction is true, or if it is -1, your prediction is false. This is how a machine gets trained, and your training is happening in your neural network with the help of perceptron. We use the formula in the algorithm for convolution, that is the output of x1 up to x1. The x1 to xn is the input what we give, and the output of that is obtained by convoluting your inputs either to any one of the cadre. Either it should be categorized to 1 or -1. When will you get 1? Whenever your threshold value is met. For all the given set of input, we will be fixing a threshold value, and when that threshold value is met, or when your obtained output is near to the threshold value, we fix the range as 1. Probably all your positive values, that is the value data which is greater than 0, will be ranged to the 1. If you have a negative value, if the threshold value is not met, it will be categorized to the -1. And how do the convolution function happen here? As usual, we will be multiplying our input with that of your corresponding weight. Here W0, W1 is the weights of the input what we give, and that weight is assigned with the importance of the feature we have for that application. And x1, x2 up to xn is the input given to the network. The main part of the perceptron is it is going to learn the method of choosing the weights. It will be trying with initial weights, and when it don't get the expected output, again it will be trying with different possibilities of the weights to obtain the target value. Here the other formula for obtaining the hypothesis is given as output of y is obtained with the range from positive 1 to -1. Whenever you have the value which is greater than 0, that will be categorized to positive 1. Otherwise, when you have a negative value, it will be categorized to the -1. We'll see why do we need weights and bias. Okay, weight is nothing but it is showing the importance of the features. It is going to mention the strength of a particular node. Okay, the features what we use and give through the input, the features is determined by the strength, and we assign that strength to the weight. And bias is implemented to perform a function, that is activation function, for summarizing your curve. Either it is going to fix up the rate, it is going to categorize the data to the particular range. So this is the architecture of a perceptron. Here we have 3 sets of inputs, x1, xn minus 1 up to n, or it's 3 sets of input, and all those input has the corresponding weights. x1 has the weight w1, and xn minus 1 has the weight wn minus 1, and xn has the weight wn. Okay, and we have a common bias, and here the bias is 1 is the constant factor, and we use this for the simplification process. Now we are going to find out the summation function. How do we determine the summation function? We are going to multiply input with that of your weight. So x1 into w1, you are going to add that with xn minus 1 into wn minus 1 plus xn into wn, and commonly will be adding that with an bias, and which is 1 here. So when you obtain this, you will be getting an weighted sum. Now we are going to implement a step function for that. What is this step function? Only with this step function, it is going to categorize the data obtained in the weight sum to either to 1 or -1. When a threshold value is met, or when the data is greater than 0, it will be threshold value it will be compared, and you get the output as 1. Or whenever you have a negative value and your data what you have obtained is for most different from your threshold value, then you get it as -1. So when you get it as 1, it is a binary. You are going to obtain the output only through the binary Boolean expression, either 1 or 0. We use 1 for intimating the condition true and 0 for intimating the condition false. The working process has been explained here. See, we have how do you obtain the output? We obtain the output for the x1 up to xn. Here they have given x1, x2 up to xn, and we implement an summation function followed by activation function, and finally we obtain the output either as +1 or -1, and we obtain +1 for the range for the data which has the greater value than 0, and -1 for those it has the negative value. That is why it has been represented in the formula. The first step will be your summation function followed by the activation function. See, here we have the input what we are given as an image, Okay, we are converting that into, we are not going to directly give an entire image as an input. We'll convert that into pixel, and we are converting that into 4 pixel, x1, x2, x3, x4, and we are giving to the next set of the next layer, that is hidden layer. And here the summation function takes place. Your input x1 will be multiplied with 0.25 and x2 will be multiplied with the second weight. You will be multiplying all the weights and you will be adding the data with the common bias. So you, after summation function, you obtain the value which is greater than -1. So when it is greater than 1, it will be set to the Boolean expression 1, otherwise it is -1. If it is +1, the image will be bright, or if the output what you obtain is -1, your image will be dark. This perceptron can be implemented even for the Boolean expression and OR gates. Okay, for AND, it is going to implement a logical condition. When both the conditions are true, only then you will get the output as true. If one of the condition is false, the output will be false. For here, the logical gate for the AND function is when A and B are 0, obviously your output will be 0, that is false. When it is 0 and 1, it is false. And when it is 1 and 0, it is again false. You will be getting true only when you get both the values as 1. Okay, you will be substituting the weights and you will be getting the output. If the threshold value is greater than 1, you get it as 1, or if it is less than 1, you get the output as 0. So this is what the perceptron training rule is. You give an input to the machine, and that input you are going to apply the mathematical function over there. You perform the activation function, and you first perform the summation function followed by activation function, and you correlate that data, obtain data, you categorize either that into the +1 or -1. You have a binary value which will be either 1 or -1. 1 will be representing the true condition and -1 will be representing your false condition. This is all about perceptron. Thank you all.